are you?
I'm okay. How are you, more importantly?
Wow, gosh, that's a story and a half. Should we do like a quick catch up?
Yeah, let's do a quick catch up. So you're still very croaky.
I am. So the last time you guys saw me, I had no voice. Slowly coming back. But in that lovely gap between last Thursday and this Thursday, I was in hospital for a bit, which was fun, but not fun for poor Alex over here. I have to say, and I'm going to give you a really big shout out. You were the absolute MVP of this business. You picked up all my weddings. You did your own weddings. You ran the team. You got all the gear ready. You had to back up all the cards. You had to make sure that everyone was where they needed to be. You did all of that while I was just languishing in a bed somewhere, being poked and prodded. I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, we've got to do what we've got to do, don't we? I mean, you can't cancel someone's wedding.
No, you can't. And we never do, even when we're dying.
You just can't.
No. But thank you. That is such a testament to your work ethic and your passion for what you do. And every wedding you went to, even when you were on wedding 5 of whatever number you'd done, you brought your absolute best.
Thank you. I feel all embarrassed now.
So in other hot news for Hawthorn Creative, we've also had a bit of an interesting week online as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite odd for us. I mean, we did build our business very heavily on the online space, and if you know us, you know we're pretty much live and let live people, love everyone. You know, everyone does their own thing. There's more than enough work for everyone to go around. We're not here to try and dominate or to try and be the be all and end all in the photography world. You know, everyone out there, there's a million other photographers out there that are talented and wonderful, and vendors as well. So we had a bit of a situation where most of you that have booked with us know that we have just a part of our booking process is there's a non-refundable deposit payment to secure your date, and then your balance is payable 7 days before your wedding day. Now, do you want to run us through a little bit why we have a non-refundable deposit?
It's mainly because we have booked so far in advance, and we get people who are wanting that date. Like 2 or 3 people want the same date, and if someone cancels, then we've actually lost money and lost that booking.
And the brides that wanted that date too have lost as well.
Or they've gone with someone else.
No, like the brides that wanted to book that date can't.
Yeah.
Because it was taken.
Yeah, it was taken.
And then they missed out.
Yeah, or if we go back to them and they've already gone with someone else, which means we're at a loss too.
Yeah. So that's why we have it. Most wedding vendors have that as well as standard terms. In saying that, we're not completely heartless either. Like, you know, if there's a death in the family or if something happens that is just, you know, like absolutely out of your control, we're flexible. We're not, we've never been ones to be like hard and fast, but if you change your mind, then yeah, our deposit's non-refundable. It's just how it is. And we just ask that, you know, do your due diligence before booking us. Make sure you're happy with our style. You know, do your homework. If our style's not for you, that's okay. We're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and we don't want to be. We're just us. We just like pretty photos. Anyway, so we had a lovely bride. We have no issue with this bride. And she has found another photographer that she likes their style. And we're happy for her because we want her to have a beautiful day and we want her to have photos that she loves. And we said to her, well, we can't refund your deposit. You're okay if you want to sell your date or transfer it to someone else. So she popped it up in one of the wedding groups to say, hey, this date's available if you want to buy it off me. And then we had someone pop up and make a comment.
We don't even know who this guy is.
We're not going to mention names or business names, but he's in the wedding space. He's in the creative field.
He's obviously new.
Must be new. And he pretty much called us unethical and unreasonable,
outrageous,
and a few other things.
Publicly.
and he couldn't understand why I would be doing this. He would never do that. And, it took every ounce of our self-control to really not jump on there and just really fire back on him, because it was really unfair, because he doesn't know the situation or our business or how we operate or why we do what we do. And it really felt like cheap point scoring off trying to bring someone down to raise themselves up. And so Alex and I, we had a moment, and it was a kind of a crossroads for us in that, do we come out firing and we could be very indignant and, angry, or do we just speak our truth, say what it is, and just let it be? And we had to just speak our truth, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we just wanted to say thank you to all the beautiful vendors, our past brides, our future brides that jumped on that thread and supported us. We really appreciate that.
And stood up for us.
Yeah, you have no idea how much we appreciate that. We're not perfect. We've made mistakes. We have hopefully learned from our mistakes. That's our biggest thing, is that, we're never going to be perfect all of the time. And, we've battled a lot of stuff in building this business, but we've always wanted to make sure we learn from what we do. If we've done something wrong, I really don't want to do it again. And if we do it again, then I got to go, why? And we look at that, and so, yeah, it was a big deal for us. And so we just want to thank everyone for that. And I guess the takeaway from that is just be kind. If you're in the industry, there's more than enough work for everyone, and as brides, you guys have got to find vendors that you gel with. We may not be your cup of tea. That's okay. You may just listen to our podcast for information.
And that's good too.
Yeah, and you book other vendors, and that's okay. We just want you to have a great day. We're not here to try and, strong arm you into booking with us. We're here to help you, and we want to give you resources to make sure you have the absolutely best day possible.
Yeah. And to, I don't know, try and defame another vendor online is, I don't know, I thought it's kind of embarrassing, bit of a low blow.
For him, yeah. But, if that's his choice, that's how he wants to run his race, that's his choice, and I'm not going to, I don't want to go down that road of, pulling him down. It was a good lesson for us, and I guess we've just enjoyed being in our little happy bubble of nice people and nice vendors and stuff like that. It was a bit of a shock, especially with everything we've had going on this week, with being sick, and we had a really busy week for weddings.
Massive week. Yeah.
I have got about 15 sneak peeks that we're working on getting done today.
Yeah, so we're sorry if we're slightly delayed as normally, but this is the reason why.
Yeah, trying to find a better balance. I think as business owners, Alex and I we want to lead our team from the front. And so we want to work the hardest, do the most, show up the most consistently. We don't ever want to ask our team to do anything that we don't do ourselves. But unfortunately, it does take a bit of wear and tear on the body. And, yeah. But it's okay. It's good.
Yeah, we'll bounce back.
We always bounce back. We're Hawthorn Creative.
That's right.
We love pretty photos. Oh, another thing I saw this week in news. I saw somebody who was actually funny. They actually wrote a post about why they don't like pretty photos.
Oh.
I know. I thought, wow, okay. And the juxta of this post was, don't worry about a pretty photo. You need a photographer that understands you and captures your essence. And I just had to have a bit of a laugh about that, because I think a true pretty photo is a photo that captures the essence of the subject in their best possible light, in their best possible moment, whatever that looks like. So don't get caught up on the word pretty. That's a subjective word. Pretty is relevant to you, and it's relevant to what your idea of that is. And if you can see emotion when you look at a photo, then that's a pretty photo. That was funny. Yeah. I almost commented and said, well, maybe we've got to learn how to take a pretty photo before we start bashing the pretty photos, but I'll leave that for another day. That's all right. Anyway, it's an interesting world we live in. Hey.
Yeah, it's a shame it's, I don't know, come a bit vicious. In the
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Like, and
Yeah.
honestly, there are so many great photographers out there. We're just in the pool. There are so many great celebrants and venues and makeup artists and you name it. There's talent, and you just got to work together, and find your tribe and put it out there, and you'll attract the people you're meant to attract.
right.
We don't have to be pulling each other down to try and get some wins on the board. And I think a lot of people look at us and they see, oh, we're quite big and we're busy, and you probably see us a lot at ads. But what people don't see is how many weddings Alex and I have done for free. How many times we've...
The hard yards.
Oh, the hard yards. Do you know one time when we first started, we hired a car and drove all the way to Townsville, did a 10-hour wedding. It was a hard wedding. It was a big wedding. It was like 300 people.
Yeah.
Plus live streaming,
Yeah.
video and photos, and we only had the two of us doing it.
It was hard.
And we literally got in the car, finished that 10-hour and drove all the way back to Brisbane through the night because we had work. We've done a lot of... It doesn't just happen overnight. And the only way you grow is if you respect others in your field. Like, even now, like, we've worked at pretty much all the biggest venues. We're still grateful. Every
To be
time...
working there.
Yeah. Every time someone chooses us, like, it's an honour. Like, wow, you're trusting us with your special day. We were at Preston Peak last night.
That was a nice venue.
That was a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
For Heather and Jake, and
Yeah.
that was such an honour, wasn't it?
It was.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just nice. And we had Jay, married by Jay, the celebrant. He's a good egg.
Yeah.
He's a good MC too.
Yeah. He's very good at what he does.
He really holds the wedding together. And I have to confess something that was really bad that I did.
What did you do?
I accidentally left my phone on. I thought I turned it onto silent,
Oh.
but it was already on silent.
Yeah, your phone's so loud
And
too.
it went off in the middle of the ceremony. It was so embarrassing. I almost tripped over myself running to the back. I turned it off in record time and not a lot of people noticed. But oh my word, that's probably the worst thing that's happened. Other than the wedding where I slid down the mud mountain in
That
the
was recent.
in the middle of the ceremony, and I
And I
saved the
tried I tried to pick you up and then you pulled me.
in the mud.
I had a big mud patch on my pants.
Right in the middle of the bride saying her vows. But it was slippery.
It was.
It was in
was
the middle
slippery.
of the bush.
It was downhill, yeah.
I wasn't just being unco. It was like a hill and it was mud. And I just was reaching to try and get my other camera because it was up high and my foot slipped and I had nothing to hold on to because I had my camera in my hand and I had to protect the camera. So I'm holding my camera up so it wouldn't get muddy. I had nothing to hold on to. And then a couple of other guests slipped. So then I didn't quite feel like I was the odd man out. But I had to go through the whole day with mud all down the back of my pants, under my nails, all over me. I had to not even look like I was embarrassed. I had to just pick the camera up and keep shooting
And carry on.
and just carry on. And the whole wedding, I'm just like, oh my goodness. I was so embarrassed. Yeah. You're embarrassed too, though.
Not really.
You're good.
I knew it was going to happen.
You knew it was going to happen
Uncle.
because I'm unco.
I said before, don't fall. You're going to fall.
I fell.
And you fell.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You kind of just slid. It's quite graceful the way you fell. You didn't hurt yourself.
You.
You just
No, I
kind
didn't
of
hurt
slid
myself.
forward. Your legs just kind of split apart, and you just plopped down on your bum, didn't you?
Did.
And then everyone went, "Oh, Carolyn's fallen."
In the middle of the ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we weren't doing video for that one. That was embarrassing.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Run sheets. My favourite topic.
Why are they important?
It's a run sheet. Okay, so I'm going to run through it quickly. Run sheet. You're going to have a lot of run sheets on your big day. Your venue's going to want to do one. Hair and makeup's going to want to do one. We're going to want to do one. Your MC's going to want to do one. And each run sheet is going to be factored around different things. pardon me. The trick that you need to figure out is which run sheet is king and which run sheet you're going to keep as your master and fit all the other ones around it. And then this then also comes back to how important are your photos and video for your big day. And that goes, if you haven't watched our first podcast, it might be worth going back and just watching our first one. We talk about the importance of deciding how important are photos and video, because from that decision, everything else comes from it. If photos and video are very important for you and you have some non-negotiable shots you want, you have ideas of what type of style you want, then can I highly suggest that you make our run sheet the master run sheet. Because what we do is we factor everything in order to give you the most amount of opportunity for getting those photos that you need, and also balancing it up with you still being able to have the flexibility to have your canapes and drinks, to have a bit of mingle time with your guests and still be able to get all the shots you need. If photos and video aren't that important and you're just there for a good time, you just want some candid photos, then yeah, our run sheet, we just need to know when to show up, how long the ceremony is going to go for, and what time the reception is going to start. Pretty basic.
Yep.
So that's a decision that you need to make. So I'm gonna tackle it from a point of view that photos are important, because I like to think they are for everyone, and run through. So one of the big things with a run sheet is we look for areas where you're going to lose time, because that's the biggest threat to your photos and video on the day. Unfortunately, look, we have worked with so many amazing hair and makeup artists. We really do. Some of our closest friends are hair and makeup artists. One of our brides, you might have seen our Cloudland photos on social media. So Katrina in her beautiful satin dress, leaning back in the peacock lounge. So Katrina is a makeup artist as well. She's also one of our brides. So she has Kat Halsey makeup. I'll tag her below. So don't get me wrong when I say we love hair and makeup, but I am also going to say, and this is, the hair and makeup is the one thing that is going to set your day behind and make you run late and cause you to lose photos.
It's been happening a lot lately too, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not just a bit late, it's like
45 minutes to an hour.
To an hour, maybe longer sometimes. I'm not sure and why it happens too.
And we really understand that as a hair and makeup artist, it's your work. We get that. We really do. And we're not trying to in any way say you've got to do a substandard work that you have to do less than. What we are saying is when we say that we're going to be there at a certain time, that means we've allocated maybe half an hour to an hour that we have to get X amount of shots in for the bride for getting ready. These shots aren't for us. We're being paid to be there. These shots are for your bride. These are her memories to last a lifetime. And when you eat into that half an hour to hour shoot time we have, you are depriving her from having those precious memories that she needs. We had a situation yesterday. The hair and makeup ran over an hour late. Mm-hmm. And when I asked the hair lady if we could possibly have our bride to do some photos, she turned to the bride and said, "Oh, today's all about you. You know, you don't have to listen to them." And I was like really taken back by that, because I'm not there to try and get her for anything to do with me. You know, I'm doing it for the bride, because I don't want her to come back to me and say, "Oh, why didn't we get any photos in our robes? You know, I spent all this money on these beautiful embroidered robes and we've got no photos."
Yeah. And then we're just standing around just taking photos of makeup shots over and over.
Yeah, it's a waste. You know, we could still be with the boys. We could be shooting your reception details. There's a lot of other things. But so that's the number one thing on the run sheet, is making sure that the time that we arrive to you for the bride, your hair and makeup is done. Non-negotiable. You have it in writing from your hair and makeup artist. When they arrive, you tell them, "I need to be done by 1 o'clock. Non-negotiable. I don't care what you have to do to get me ready by then. I don't care if no one else is ready. I need to be ready." Don't go last. Don't be the last one in the chair. Be second last. Give yourself a buffer, because then we can still do shots of you in your robe, you looking at your dress, you getting your veil in, you with your flowers, you getting into your dress, putting your shoes on, earrings. There's so many shots we can do with just the bride. But you're going to miss out on that if their makeup runs late. So that's the one thing on our run sheet that is, you'll see it's actually a question we ask, what time is your hair and makeup finishing? Okay, and then have that conversation with your hair and makeup team. Now, this is not every hair and makeup. There are so many great hair and makeup artists out there with no hassle at all. They'll actually ask us what time they need to be ready by, and they stick to it. But do your due diligence with your hair and makeup. Like these guys we worked with yesterday did a beautiful job. And yes, they've done weddings before, but they obviously haven't had that experience in working with photographers on a timeline.
Yeah, they were just whenever they got it done.
Yeah, and the sad thing is they weren't hurting us, they were hurting their client. You got to just not take it personally. When we get there on site, if we're asking you to do something, it's nothing to do with us. It's because you've paid us really good. You've paid us your hard-earned money to get you these photos, and it's our job to make sure you get them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Okay, travel.
Travel, yeah. Big one.
Yeah, so if you are not all getting ready, married, and eating in the same location, you really need to factor in travel. And when I say travel, you need to think about school times. You need to think about, is it midweek, weekend? You need to think about sporting events that are on. You need to think about car parking, all of that. And then you have to allow for a buffer because if there's a car accident. So for example, if we're getting married up in Logan, but we are having photos on the Gold Coast, anyone who has done that Gold Coast drive, anytime after 3 o'clock, knows what that motorway is like. Or we get one car accident. It took us 2.5 hours one time.
Yeah.
We were almost late. We weren't because we always leave so early. But it was cutting it fine. And that was only to the acre.
And these things can happen, especially on that M1.
On the M1. You've got to allow for the time. It is better that we get there early and then we can take photos of your venue, detail photos. We got photos of guests arriving. That we can always take photos. So it's better to be early than to be late. And allow yourself the same travel time because we won't be traveling with you. So if you're traveling from your getting ready spot to the ceremony, you've got to allow yourself the same amount of time. And don't just Google Maps it, like drive it yourself. Look for Google what's on near me. Is there a sporting match on? Is there a protest on? Remember the wedding we did in the city and they shut all the city down for that protest?
Yep.
We're at the registry office. I think it was an anti-vaccination protest and they shut all of Ann Street down and the bride couldn't get from her hotel to the registry office. We couldn't get anywhere. It was locked down. Do you remember that?
I remember, yeah.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah. So things like that have to go into your run sheet. Okay, so another really good run sheet a suggestion is leaving yourself enough time to mingle with your guests. Now, when you're planning your wedding, you probably don't realise this because you're not there. You're not on the day. But how you feel when you're planning and how you feel on your day are two completely different headspaces, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yep.
Because the minute you walk back down that aisle, everyone there, they want to congratulate you. And that's fair enough, And you're going to see people you haven't seen for a while and work friends and family friends. That takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can take a lot of time.
Yeah. And then we don't want to be the bad people that have to tear you away from your nearest and dearest to run you into photos.
Yeah. So for me, this is the part of any wedding day. This is definitely the hardest bit, which is the group photos and organising people.
Everyone just wants to drink and have fun. And we're the ones that have to kill the vibe to get everyone into one place, lined up, no sunglasses on, smiling for the camera and doing a group photo.
And then waiting for that one or two people that have disappeared.
To the toilet to get a drink or just gone. They're just off.
Yep.
And off they go. And then we have to wait. And then we ask everyone who's not family, they can go to the canapes and drinks. And we get the family to stay behind. And then we do family photos. If we have a list, We can get it done quite quickly.
Yeah, if we're organised.
But you have to tell your family what's going to happen. Oh, my voice is so bad, sorry. Tell your family what's going to happen. Have someone there to help us call out the names. Have a list, and then we can run through them quite quickly. And then from family photos, we take you and your bridal party off for bridal party photos for half an hour. And then they go. And we just do couples photos for another half an hour to 40 minutes. But in that, if we work quickly, we can carve out time for you guys at the end, 10, 15 minutes, for you guys to have a moment, sit down, have a drink, have something to eat, and collect yourself before you enter into reception. But it all depends on everything from the group photo forward running smoothly. Otherwise, we run out of time. And now this is where the conflict into a venue time run sheet can come in, is that they might have food set for a certain period of time. And if we've run late,
Yeah, we have to be back on time.
we're eating into that time.
And venues can get very grumpy if we're late.
Yeah.
The chef can be upset.
So, but we do need a bit of flexibility with that. So communication is key. Yeah, and then reception is pretty easy. We just need to know when the speeches are on.
Yeah, so we've been caught out on the speeches before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, like, we're allocated a break. So, for example, we've been off having our dinner, and then suddenly the MCs just decide just to do the speaches. No photo, no video, just do them.
We had this one wedding. It was actually on it was one wedding I shot. 24 speeches. We were supposed to have a break at 7:30. We didn't finish until 9 o'clock. I went to the MC and I said, you've just got to pause it because my team need a break. We've been on our feet since like 10 o'clock in the morning. Had no food, no water. Anyway, so he goes, oh, yeah, mate. Okay, yeah. I said, right, we're going to be in that room there eating our dinner. You come and get us if anything happens, right? I literally remember my last forkful of food, and next minute Zach goes, the music stopped. And Huey's like, oh, something's happening. They were cutting the cake without us. They didn't. We had to run and grab our cameras. They had the knife in the cake before I even got there. And I said, do you not want me to take a photo of you cutting the cake? Oh, okay. But that is on the MC. You know, we told him where we were. We had it on the run sheet that we needed a break. We'd already gone 2.5 hours over our break time. And then they were going to miss out on these photos because they couldn't come and grab us and say, hey guys, is it all right if we cut the cake now? We would have said yes, just give us a moment to get our cameras. But 24 speeches was too much.
Yeah, normally we'd ask the MC to come and give us like a 5-minute warning so we can be ready and make sure we capture that.
Yeah.
Because again, we don't want the couple disappointed when it comes to post, we didn't get them because we weren't there.
Yeah.
Just through miscommunication. And
yeah.
if we're not there, we can't capture them, right?
Exactly. I'm going to tell you something too. If you think you're super cool and trendy and you think you don't need a run sheet, I don't care if you need a run sheet. I know, I really get the whole, unplugged.
We'll just do it whenever.
Vibey type wedding. I get that, but you need a run sheet. We've done so many weddings where people are trying to be so super cool and trendy without a run sheet, and it has bitten them in the butt so bad. Like, things that could have been avoided if they'd had a run sheet. It is not uncool to have a run sheet, guys. It will make your day run really well.
Yeah. And this is designed to make it a better day for you. Like, it's not there to make it so militant and controlled. It's just, it takes stress away and then everything gets done and then...
Yep. You just leave it in our hands. We'll run the run sheet for you. We'll tell you where you need to be and what's happening. You don't need to worry about it. We just need the information.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have a handy-dandy template that all our brides get for run sheets.
Should we put that out?
I'm happy to, even if you haven't booked with us, I'm happy to share our run sheet template with you. As I said, we're all about helping each other. It's not about just being with Hawthorn Creative. And if you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them as well.
Or if you've been married done your wedding and you've got any tips you can share as well on top of that, that'd be really helpful in the
Yeah.
comments below.
Hit me with your mic.
Oh, sorry.
And just finally, I just want to give a massive shout out to our team that's kept the business running and supported Alex so much while I've been out of action. Huey, our videography manager, could not do this without him. Brittany in the office, we got James, we got Glenn, Zach. Zach's been the MVP. He's been so good. Stephen, I hadn't forgotten you, Stephen. You know, Ryan, who just, Ryan, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, I'm in hospital. I need you to cover me. And I was supposed to be lead photos and Alex was on video and Alex had to step in for me and Ryan stepped into video and very last minute. So we really love and appreciate you guys and we wouldn't be who we are today without any of you. And we're really grateful. We're grateful for all the vendors that we work with, all of our past brides and future brides. And thank you for being patient with us and growing with us. And yeah. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Hopefully
it'll be a bit better.
Yeah. We'll look a little bit more put together and my voice will be...
I'll be less tired.
Awesome. Okay, guys. We'll see you then.
See you guys.